welcome back, guys. So today I want to show you guys how to update your Byte 90 to the latest version 1.03, which I've released on GitHub. This new release does have one improvement over the previous release, which I had to push out a hotfix for. But I will show you guys how to update your first generation Byte 90 here. So what you're going to do is you're going to hold down the button at the bottom for about 2 seconds, and that will enter into update mode. So you're going to see the screen here. One thing to note is that currently Windows 11 does have an issue with assigning the IP address to the access point. So you're going to have a hard time trying to connect to it. So I recommend to either use a Mac or your iPhone or Android device. And then go on my GitHub page here under release and download the new firmware file. What you want to do is extract the actual Byte 90 bin file. And then you could check your Wi-Fi for the Byte 90 access point. You might want to toggle it so it refreshes. And all you really need to do is just look for the Byte 90 setup access point here. So once you find it, just click it to start connecting to it. Now with the first batch of the Byte 90s, it might take some time for the network to actually show up. But once it does show up, you're just really entering the default password to connect to it and make sure that you're connected. Once you're connected, just visit the actual IP address that's listed on the setup screen. And what you want to do is just wait for it to scan your Wi-Fi networks and then choose your Wi-Fi and connect to it. This is important because you want to have a strong Wi-Fi connection for the OTA to download the firmware. So once you're connected to your Wi-Fi, what you really need to do now is just really select the byte90.bin file. So make sure you're not selecting the zip file. You have to unzip it first. Choose the .bin file and then just hit update. So the OTA update happens really quick. But one thing I want to note here is that if you're having issues connecting to this page, with the earlier Byte 90 units, the antenna was placed in a bad position. So you might actually have to take off the cover and reseat the antenna itself just to get a better connection. But once your device has been updated, it will restart itself and you'll be able to see that you're on version 1.03. Now, alternatively, you could also update it via your iPhone or Android device. So I'll demonstrate it here. It's pretty much similar to the desktop, except you're connecting with your mobile device instead. Now, I have not tested this with an Android device, but I'm pretty sure it will work as long as you're using Chrome. And the process is pretty much identical. Once again, you just connect to your Wi-Fi network here and just wait for it to connect. Once it's connected, what you want to do is, choose the firmware file and just hit update and you're good to go. The process, again, is pretty quick with OTA updates. Not sure what's really going on here. I think sometimes it's pretty picky with browser support. Let's try and hit the update button again. And this time it should hopefully update your device. So not really sure what's going on here, but I know it did update successfully because you notice when your Byte 90 restarts itself. So to confirm this, you can see that it's booting into version 1.0.3. But yeah, the update is pretty straightforward. However, OTA updates is kind of iffy. So what I've done with the latest firmware here is that once you update to this firmware, for future releases, you could actually update via the web installer using the USB cable itself. So I'll demonstrate this by plugging in the USB cable and then setting the device into, once again, update mode. And once you're in update mode, this time, instead of connecting to the access point, what you want to do is you want to visit this URL. And this is the online web installer. So what you need to do is just hit connect and choose your USB connection here. And then just confirm that and your device will connect. With this new web installer, you can see what firmware version you're actually on and the amount of space you have left on your Byte 90 device itself. So the rest of the process is pretty much identical. You just pick the firmware file that you've downloaded, in this case the Byte 90 bin, and then just hit install. So while it's installing, I just want to say that the web installer unfortunately is slower than the OTA updates. So you want to keep this window active and don't do anything else in the background because you might risk it timing out while it's updating. However, if it does time out, you just have to retry it and it will be successful the second time around. But yeah, you can see that it does take some time to update the new firmware with this web installer. But yeah, with the web installer, it's an alternative option for you to use to update the firmware, especially if you're on Windows 11. I know some people are having a hard time connecting to the AP with Windows 11, so this is an alternative option for you there. So I hope you guys enjoyed this new firmware. Like and subscribe to this channel for news on future releases.